financing, and accountability for girls' education. That is why we are gathered here. Secondly, to amplify grassroots voices and tackle persistent barriers. And then third, to foster partnerships and evidence-based action for sustainable impact. So while we are here, every single person in here is a stakeholder in education, not just girls' education, but education at large. Would love for this to be an avenue for partnerships and collaborations, partnerships to be built amongst various stakeholders, from parents, the students themselves, to parents, to policymakers, administrators, and development partners here. This is one of the objectives that we have for this summit. Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, would move to our second panel discussion for the day, and it's going to discuss I've just been told that our lead paper presenter is available also. He was supposed to take his presentation earlier, but because of time, we had to break, so we had to suspend that. So we'll take that now, the second lead paper presentation on information technology and innovation, with a sub-theme, expanding girls' access to quality learning, EdTech, and innovation. And that is going to be taken by Dr. YZ Yao of CTAD, represented by Mohammed Bello Yahaya. He's joining us via Zoom. And if you can hear us, Mr. Mohammed Bello, please go ahead. You have about 10-15 minutes for the presentation. So after that second paper presentation, we'll take our second panel, and I will introduce the panelists and the moderator. Today seems to be one of those days where technology is not on our side. But notwithstanding, would still proceed. When we have him back, we can take him much later, or perhaps even tomorrow. Yes, we can see your screen. Yeah, sir, we can hear you. We're definitely going to find a way around this. By the grace of God, we're not going to, especially for me, I'm not going to waste my 2 degrees in technology, in computer science. We will find a way. We'll find a way around this. We'll definitely take this presentation, perhaps later today or tomorrow. While we are trying to sort that out, we'll move to the next item on our agenda, which is the second panel discussion for the day. And this panel is going to, has the title, Harnessing Technology for Girls. And this discussion is going to happen between our amazing panelists and moderator, whom I'm going to introduce and invite to the stage. I would be a little bit selfish this time around too. Our first panelist on this second panel is Mubarak Daha Isa. A round of applause for Mubarak. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Outside Innovation Hub. He has a master's in data science and analytics and a bachelor's degree in computer science. He's the Chief Executive Officer, like I said, of Outside Innovation Lab, where he leads and design and deliver AI-driven civic solutions and strategic advisory services. A round of applause for Mubarak Daha as he proceeds to the stage. Our second panelist is Amina Abubakar, who is the Chief Executive Officer and also the Chief Consultant, Adaptive Solutions Africa. She's an engineer, by profession engineer. Amina Abubakar is a development consultant and a trainer with extensive leadership experience. She holds a degree in computer engineering and a master's in development studies, combining her technical expertise with years of experience in the humanitarian sector to foster growth and development. A round of applause, please, for Ms. Amina Abubakar. Next is another very good friend and sister, Tofa. Miss Aisha Uthman Tofa is a board chair, Startup Kano, Center for Innovation Development. She's also the founder of Startup Kano, Center for Innovation and Development, a leading innovation and entrepreneurship hub driving digital transformation and youth empowerment in northern Nigeria. A round of applause for Tofa as she proceeds. And to moderate this panel is another remarkable and amazing young person. Myself, she's my mentor, even though I'm a little bit older than her. This person is none other but Zainab Saidu Idris, who is the founder, Creativity Enthusiast Network. Zainab is a trailblazing technology advocate and community leader dedicated to breaking barriers for women and youth in northern Nigeria and beyond. She's the co-founder of the 25th February Studios and driving force behind the Creativity Enthusiast Network. This panel, ladies and gentlemen, is going to discuss technology and innovation, with a focus on expanding girls' access to quality education. What's this? Okay, also on this panel is Mr. Ramadan Yusuf, who is the Senior Special Assistant, Media Monitoring and Innovation and founder of Spark Lab here in Kano. His background is in innovation management, brand management, business development, and IT project management. He is a creative and digital economy enthusiast. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Ramadan. I would now hand over to the moderator. Ms. Moderator, we have about 30, 35. Everybody, thank you.
So, permit me to stand or sit or the already existing protocol. So, good afternoon, everyone. And it's such a great honor to be here with you all today as we'll be discussing about harnessing the technology to girls' education, which is actually a topic very dear to me. And I am so glad and so excited that I had this opportunity and privilege to have this wonderful panelists here with me. They are not just panelists, they are actually change makers. These are youths that are actually breaking a lot of boundaries and they are actually doing the work. We can see it, especially those that are on the social media space, we can see everything that is happening. We can see the numbers adding up and we can see a lot of impact in our society. So thank you very much for joining me. So you can all believe when I tell you that we have a lot of girls that are actually out of school. We have discussed regarding this since in the morning. We have been talking about girls not attending school, not going to school, dropping out, and so on. And according to UNESCO, over 130 million girls are actually out of school. And those that are even opportune to actually go to school, technology tends to be something that they see it doesn't even belong to them. And according to World Economic Forum again, over 90% of the job of the future actually requires technology. So you can see the numbers are already there, but what's happening? The girls are not there. They are not filling in the space. The gap is still very much there. So this is why we have this panel discussion, and I believe we have the amazing people here that are going to rock everything out and also give a wonderful justice to every conversation or every question that is actually thrown to them. So I will start with Aisha, that is actually very close to me here. We all know that Aisha has built a very influential startup, especially in the northern Nigeria, and this startup has actually helped a lot of youths to become who they are today, and it has actually supported girls in one way or the other. Girls see you as their role model, especially here in Kano, and also the northern Nigeria. So what have you learned about breaking the social culture? Because of course we have that culture that it's inbuilt with us. So how were you able to actually break through the culture? And also when there's this cultural barrier and when you approach a certain community that have this limitation or a cover around them, how are you able to like preach or discuss about technology to them easily?
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. So I think one thing I have learned over the years at Startup Kano is that breaking social and cultural barrier is not just about creating access, right? It's also about changing perception and mindset. Now, a lot of young people in northern Nigeria, they grow up not seeing women in technology or women in business leadership. So they don't even imagine it's possible, right? And that is one of the work that, we have done at Startup Kano, creating that visibility, putting women in front of innovation conversations, mentoring them, building safe spaces where their curiosity is celebrated and encouraged and not judged, right? And then one thing I've also learned is that culture shift responds better with proof than persuasion. So when the community sees that women are building startups, they're earning money, they are creating jobs, then resistance will start to, fade because they're seeing it firsthand. They're not just hearing about it, right? So for me, it's three things. representation, opportunity, and mentorship. Because when these young girls see it, they will believe it. And when they believe it, they will build it. So that's my take on that.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that wonderful insights. And one thing that actually got my attention regarding what you said is actually creating a safe space. You all will agree with me when I tell you that a lot of these girls, especially in the rural areas that are not going to school, in one way or the other, the safe space has a vital role to play in their lives.
Okay.
So to follow up with that, I would like to know if you could redesign how technology is introduced to the girls. How are you going to do that? How are you going to introduce technology to girls today? What would you like, especially for those in the underserved communities, how are you going to introduce it to them? Because we all know that localization is actually a very big factor, and approaching it to them in a language they understand, in a better kind of approach is something that they would definitely welcome. So if you are someone that is going to redesign the entire framework, how are you going to do it?
So first of all, for me, intentionality is very important because whatever you're trying to do, whether in the community or anywhere, if there is no intentionality, I don't think it's going to work. So first of all, we need to have that intentionality of we want to bridge the access of these young girls and technology, right? And then the second thing is the policies. We need to have policies that are actually working, not just policies that would be signed and then nothing happens, right? So these policies are what would actually make everything easier, whether it's teaching them in their local languages, whether it's following them to their schools, whether it's allowing them to be in a safe space where their ideas could be heard, encourage them to think out of the box, to be ambitious, to feel like they can actually do whatever they want to do, to see that possibility. And then that is where also actors comes in, people like us, people like some of the panelists that just went off the stage now. Because when they see that, so when they were introducing Professor Rabia Said, they were talking about how she is part of the United Nations nuclear, stuff like that. It was so amazing, and I'm sure a lot of girls were wondering, oh, nuclear, war, United Nations, and stuff like that. So if people like her would speak to them and share her story and practical experiences, they would also believe that, yes, I can be like that too, because I can see her and she's doing it. So this is just some of the ways that we can make this happen. There are so many ways, and then when the government asked me to do the framework, I can actually sit down and put them all together.
Very
so
good.
Just pause for
Thank you very much. Thank you. I love the fact that you said when the government invites you, that's actually an open invitation to the government.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. So I will go to SA, that's Ramadan. Thank you very much for joining us here. So I know you actually work around creativity, which is actually an aspect that I so much love, and I have a wonderful edge in that aspect. So how can you create a storytelling and digital design to be used to inspire more girls to see technology as part of their identity, not just as a subject in school? When they see it as an identity that this actually belongs to us, we can also be part of it. It's going to be more exciting and it will be more relatable to them. But when they see it as just, this is just like the normal other languages that are in school, let me just read through it and pass. They will just read through it and pass. But how can you make it more relatable using storytelling? Because stories always win in the game.
Assalamu alaikum. I would like to also stand on the already established protocols. These two tools, creative storytelling and design, will definitely help in changing the narratives for the girls to understand and see technology as a tool for expression, not just a subject in the school. And by seeing stories of girls like them creating tech solutions or using technology will definitely inspire them to be able to understand that technology is not something that is distant to them, but rather something that is open and readily available for everyone to ride on or leverage on to achieve their individual goals. Like you just introduced me, I am sitting here in two personalities. One is as the ecosystem enabler. What we do normally, whenever we have young talent coming to us for mentorship, the first thing we do is we pair them or assign them to somebody who has achieved so much in that area that they are requiring for mentorship, to take them through their stories and their journeys, for them to be motivated and get inspired to have courage to continue in that journey. And also in the aspect of government, I would like to say, based on my own responsibility to monitor the media, and we have been doing so, and that has been consistently, the Kano state government have been consistently reading on a positive media perception because of the way the government is open, sharing all the stories of the achievements and also backslashes at some point. And that has been one of the major secrets why we have been recording consistent positive perception on the media. And at the same time, not only what government is sharing to the public, but we have other third party who are sharing their opinion, who are commending the government, and that are part of the stories that actually come together to shape the perception of the government in the media. And again, part of the drivers that indicate those positive perception, education, most of the initiatives that are being shared or programs within the education sector made a significant number of all the drivers and indicators that made up the positive perception. So that tells you the power of storytelling. And I would like to say storytelling should be part of teaching methodology as well. Not just the students or they are allowed to go out and get perception from anyhow stories, but teachers should also tell them stories about people in that field, girls or women like them, so that they will feel, yeah, I want to be like so person when I grow up. And that will really help in inspiring the student beyond seeing just technology is just a subject to them.
Thank you very much for that. I love the fact that you said you are monitoring especially social media, seeing the activities that are actually happening, because disinformation and misinformation nowadays, it spreads so fast.
Yeah.
And sometimes you cannot even differentiate between whether this information is actually true or not, especially with the, with the coverage of AI. So many things are happening nowadays. But if you can polish these stories, make it more natural, then it's definitely going to be more relatable to them. And if they see the mentors you are referring to, they are actually people maybe close to them or someone that at least they know they live in the same community, it will be much, much, much easier.
Yeah.
So to follow up with that, what are the small shifts in thinking that maybe by parents or teachers or even communities, they could unlock for a bigger opportunity for girls to learn, create, and also lead through technology?
Well, innovation and technology start with mindsets. So there is need for that shift in mindset. For parents, the shift that is needed is for them to shift from protecting young girls from using technology to guiding them on how to use technology positively. And for teachers, also to shift from teaching them how to use technology to how to create technology, how to create positive, innovative solutions. And also for the community to begin to see technology as inspiration, both cultural and religious, than limitation. There are a lot of inspiration that can be taken out from our cultural values when we use innovation. There are a lot of inspiration we can pick from our own religion, because a lot of science theories have been proven in our own religion. So we should begin to have that shift of mindset to see that, okay, what can we get to inspire us to do or to see the bigger goals of what we want to achieve.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love that fact where you said parents, they should start teaching their female daughters, child,
Yes, yes,
on
catch
how
them
to
young.
actually see technology and also guide them on how to use technology in a nutshell.
Yes,
So,
because-
and also the teachers, they also have their roles to play. Maybe when they are actually assigning roles in the class, maybe who is going to lead for a certain assignment, homework, and all of that, maybe they should start putting the girl child in the forefront and also guide them on how to do
Another
the
thing
leadership.
as part of the shift I feel will help us to reach a bigger goal is to understand that the perception we are having regarding technology or internet per se is that maybe it has bring a lot of harm to our society or to our young ones is because of that curiosity they have, because we have been protecting them from using it instead of teaching them how to use it positively. And to me personally, I would say internet or technology gives 90% advantage than disadvantage.
Of course.
But where we have the problem is 90% of the users of the technology choose to use it negatively,
Of course.
while just 10% are trying
Yeah.
to use the 90% positive part of the technology. So this is also one of the shifts I would love to see in our own society.
And it all begins with awareness.
Yes.
Let's start making tangible awareness to the teachers, to the parents, to the community. Let's just go deep down into
So
the
that is
rural
where the
areas.
power of storytelling
Telling
will play
comes,
a very
of course,
big role.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. Thank you very much, Ramadan. Thank you. I love your insights regarding this. Thank you. So I will come to you, Amina. Your organization has been bridging a lot of critical gaps when it comes to education and digital inclusion. So especially for the marginalized girls. So from your own on-ground experience, because you have tone of it, what innovative use of technology have you seen that has truly transformed how girls learn and also how they stay in school? You know, it's two different things, for them to actually stay in school and for them to learn. So what has truly worked for you? Maybe you should turn it on.
Thank you for that question. Your Excellency, may I please be permitted to remain on existing protocol? Well, I don't want us to see digital inclusion any different from access to education because they go hand in hand. So if it's just like having access to food and then having access to some supplementary part of the food. If you don't have the basic education, you cannot access technology or whatever comes with it effectively. So for us, what we have seen is we need to move from actually wanting to be part of the trend because we have a long way to go before we get to the trends. We go to the communities and we start from the very basics. This is not very popular. Not a lot of donors want this because of the long process involved and everything, but it's very effective. We start with what we call computational thinking, and we do algorithms in Hausa. So for example, I tell this young girl who is carrying, they come there with whatever it is they used to hawk. We don't interfere with whatever the parents want, and we use that to teach the computational thinking modules. So if we want to teach algorithms, we don't go and pick some long sheets from somewhere they've never seen, or if you just carry a very big sheet from British Telecoms, and you bring it to Tudu Murtala, and you give it Usaina, and you're like, Usaina, come and learn this. She's not going to relate with it. But if you carry the same sheet, but it's translated into Hausa, you are speaking Hausa, you're looking like somebody who Usaina would want to look like in the future, and you tell her that this is how computers are built. So let's do it step by step. How are you going to pick your tray from this point to that point? And she says, the first thing is I'm going to stand up. Zantash is A. You'll be like, okay, that's your first line of code. Write it down. And then she writes that down. Then you say, then what are you going to do next? Then she'll say, I'll pick up my tray. And she picks up her tray. It's an algorithm. It's a step-by-step process. And that is exactly how computer programs are designed. So this is just an example of algorithms, but a lot of the other concepts of computing are taught like this. We start in Hausa. It's very difficult. You have to train teachers for them to master it for like 6 months or so before they start to teach it effectively. But once they master it, it's very effective. They can see that these are role models. And when they finally have access to these devices, they know that one day I can build a computer, because building a computer just starts basically from knowing the step-by-step processes to take, and I cannot afford to miss any single step. So that's what we've seen work in terms of them access to that learning. So learning, that's the first step. Retention, on the other hand, is, so once somebody can relate, there are 4 components that we need to understand about digital inclusion. Number 1 is access. So with more than almost 70% of those girls don't even have access to any form of devices to learn. Even though I feel like they are not ready for it if we don't start from the basic, but there is no access. Then the first is literacy. Who is teaching them? To what extent are we making it relatable for that Usaina Atudu Murtala to relate with whatever she's picking up? Not just coming to hand her over the tablet and she plays a game. And you snap pictures, you send, you'll be like, okay, yes, I'm a hero. I've given them access to digital. No, no, no. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the real deal. And then the next is the infrastructure. Because we have this budgeted, right? So we need a lot of political will to achieve this. Because these things are in the budget. And we have to have Sorong Allah too. Those of us implementing. Don't come and carry it just because you don't have access to it. Because it's a necessary component of your job and you have to fulfill it as an amana. Then finally is the benefit. The benefit should not only be to you as the person implementing. It should be about the user. So those are all components of digital inclusion we need to understand. And trust me, if you fulfill those conditions to an excellent percent, you will see them being retained. Because once somebody knows that, okay, even algorithms can be said in Hausa language in a way that I can relate to it, then why can't I code in future in English when I can trust this thing is actually accessible to me? So retention, and then both learning, we need to start from the basics and fulfill the components of digital inclusion. We will not have a lot of problem. But of course, there are a lot of issues under, like I said, Orang Allah, and then political will, and many other things involved. So from my experience, that's what is going to help us bridge those gaps.
Thank you very much, Amina. You know, I am a big fan of localization. I love when it is local. In fact, I do my best to also break down a lot of tech terminologies into Hausa, and I share it with my audience. So I see the impact. I so much see the impact, because when you make it in the language that people are more comfortable with, and they can relate to it, before you know it, you will see the wonders that comes out of it.
Thank you very much for that. And I'll follow that up with,
of course, you emphasize about the sustainability and also the inclusion, especially regarding localization in education. So how can we make sure that our push for tech in girls' education doesn't unintentionally leave behind those with limited access to devices? You spoke about that. Access to devices, internet, and supportive family environment. You see that That's a big one. The family environment where they are coming from, they can have the ambition, they can have that zeal that I want to go into it. But the family is actually where the support comes from. They can decide to accept or decline. So how do you handle that?
So again, I think the questions are not too far from each other.
Of course.
If we have all of those in the budget and we have to make provision for them to pick it up, it's not too difficult because a parent, trust me, I'm a parent and I know how I want my daughters to do better than me. Those people in communities, they are not any different. They are still the same parents. They just have less opportunities than you and I. Basically, that's it. So if that parent can trust you and they know you're not wasting their time, many of them just argue that, you know, a lot of us just want to tick off attendance or we want to say this is done. But if they can see the impact, some of those communities we worked in, they are nomadic communities. So one of the girls, Saude, she can actually pick up the phone now and she can call us. She has, there are reports of the schools she's accessing scholarships through our organization sent to their parents' phone because now the parent has a smartphone. And the parent said, is that little girl that is still in primary school that can tell the difference between expiry dates. So he is the one relating these stories to us. I am not the one making it up. And one day he said to me, I think I want my Saudi to become like you. So that's trust for you, right? It's even a male parent. So imagine the female parent. If we can do these things for real, trust me, they are going to come with us, those parents. Number one. Number two, we are actually leaving them far behind. I was having this conversation earlier with Auntie Rabi here, and it is always about, okay, those who have the access to the opportunities, they are getting bigger. And those who don't have, they are getting poorer.
Yes.
But it's a systemic problem. If we address those systemic issues from the Nigerian context, trust me, those issues are going to take care of themselves. And what we are lacking, what we are losing out by keeping those girls out is a lot of innovation. In fact, according to the International Finance Corporation, up to $126 billion are being lost on a yearly basis just because a lot of women and girls are not able to access digital technology. And because we are all diverse groups, everybody has to bring in their own talent to make it work. So if Africa is going to have the largest population of young people by 2030, and then a lot of girls, a lot of young women who ideally should be part of the conversation, part of the game, are missing out, then you can imagine what harm that is causing to us, not only economically, but even security-wise and creating other vices for us as well. So to answer your question, in summary, is if we address the major components surrounding digital inclusion, the parents will be on board.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. And I agree with you 100% on what you said. And I wish and I pray and I hope that we are going to actually implement all these wonderful strategies because we are actually giving them for free without consultation fee. So I will come to you, my brother, Mubarak. We share the same community, and I have seen the wonderful work that you do in your community. And you actually change the mindset of a lot of youths in your community. So you have led these tech communities and you have mentored students who are actually now change makers, and we are so proud of the impact they are making. So what strategies have worked best for you in helping the female students build their confidence in this space that is majorly dominated by men? Because I will tell you this, I once had an experience where we wanted to host a hackathon, and we wanted the female students to actually participate. But it's not that they don't know what to do, but it's just that confidence is not there. And they'll be telling you that, it's going to like make sense. And some of them that actually push themselves to walk to the stage, you see them shaking, some of them even crying. So how do you handle that?
Oh, okay, thank you, Zainab. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So when it comes to engaging girls and women, especially in the tech community, It's something that we have battled with for over since I joined the community. When we started from here in this very university, the challenge we faced was that you will organize an event and like 99.99% of the participants are men. And as of then, at the Google developer student community, in entire northern Nigeria, there is no female lead. All the lead in the all states are men. And it comes to me that we have to do something. And since it's a program designed and implemented by the community and supported by Google, in BUK here, we try to see how we can increase the female student participation. That's when we start to analyze what was the principal issue or what was the causative agent for that particular challenge. Then we discovered that it's usually norm, right? A lot of people will think that these girls go to school and most of the cultural norms are no longer attached to her. But let me clearly tell you this, even if a girl wants to get her PhD, some of that retainable cultural norms are still within her, which is also part of what deters us girls to attend some of our activities. Then we come up with something, even though it wasn't official through the DSC, we founded Girls in DSC. That's since before even like permutation of the WTM, because the WTM is at the state level, while we are at the campus level. So within the campus, we started Girls at DSC to create an inclusive and safe space for those girls, whereby we try to get a female mentor, someone that can teach them as a lady that can teach them, and we ensure that both the participant and the mentors or the trainers are female. That really gives them some sense of security and inclusivity that they have been able to participate. And God so kind, after I left the position, another person come in. The person that come after was a lady, and which was part of the people we have engaged in the earlier, what's they call it, inclusive program that we have developed. And I'm proud to tell you that that particular lead is now a DevOps engineer, and she's now doing very great, and you can testify based on that. And along to that, I also got the opportunity to train young girls in schools. After some time in 2019, I got the opportunity with TechBase Academy, where we are required to introduce technology to secondary school children. And we were very intentional because I have seen the experience firsthand from the university. Then I went to say, okay, let's make most of the participants of this program to be women. So instead of going to boys-only school, we try to go to girls' school because intuitively, men tend to choose their passion. Okay, if I'm interested in technology, I'll just go for it. But for girls, they require extra motivation to ensure that they do that. And it surprised me much when I went to some public school, and you can interview a girl, and she said that she wanted to become, let's say, a web developer. I was really, really surprised. And that happened at Meroti Jani College. A girl came to me that she said that she wanted to become a web developer. It was really amazing after our program how their mindset, and roughly we have been able to train over 1,000 girls, sensitize over 1,000 girls around technology, and they have been able to assemble simple robotic components. They can be able to build some electronic component with Arduino and some other electronic component. And so that was the strategy, focusing on the girls and also building an inclusive space for them to be able to see that, okay, most of the time when you bring a room full of men and full of women, men and women together, they don't have that sense of security, what they call, to be able to express themselves, because they don't want to make a mistake. And if you make a mistake in front of other gender, it sounds But if you build an inclusive space where they feel that I could be able to make a mistake and I will not be judged, they could be able to learn faster and the adaptability will be very high.
Wonderful, wonderful. So what you said actually reminded me of an empowerment we did for girls, women, rather, and we ensured that this empowerment for the women so that they can feel that comfort, they can feel the inclusion, and we hope that we use this actually is very much secured for them and is somewhere they can easily spread or discuss their ideas with their fellow women without feeling intimidated, attacked, or anything related to that. So we cannot leave this stage without speaking about AI because I softly mentioned AI when I was talking earlier on. So if you are to design a program that actually blends AI or coding with girls' everyday realities, how will you make it fun, relatable, and empowering?
I think the rise of AI had made it very obvious that there is no any portal like this that will come, start and close without speaking about artificial intelligence. And I think it's very important conversation to have anywhere and anytime. So when, hypothetically, I've been asked to design a program that leverage AI and what they call it, to be able to support young girls to learn, I think this is something that we are currently doing at Outside Innovation Lab. We are trying to see how to build a platform that leverage artificial intelligence to improve, not just because we filter out the source of challenges in school, which is at the top of the challenge is infrastructure. So we are building an AI-enabled platform that's going to be leveraging AI to also solve infrastructural issue, which I will present after this panel. But to put it into perspective, AI have some potential to actually use existing data to train itself and be able to provide what they call it, a specific outcome. So if you want to, for most people, our learning paradigm is not the same. As I may learn faster, someone might learn slower. So with the use of artificial intelligence, we could be able to develop personalized learning in which people could be able to learn based on their own pace, at their own pace, and they could be able to learn based on their own, their own peculiarities. Some people may learn faster in Hausa, some people may learn faster in any kind of language, depending on how it is being presented to you. So AI could be able to learn your own learning pattern, what time best you learn, what is the strategy best you learn with, what type of content do you consume, is it video, text, or audio content? AI will be able to understand that in no time and be able to tailor a content that will. Some people spend hours on TikTok and other platforms. If AI could understand that, they could be able to tailor your content that use the same algorithm as TikTok and feed your own intuition. So if I were to ask to design a program that follow that specific pattern, it will definitely be a platform where every girl could be able to understand its own learning needs and they could be able to learn at their own pace. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I got 5 minutes warning and now I got 0 seconds warning. So we need to wrap up. So just to close regarding this wonderful session that we are having, I don't want this session to actually end because I'm enjoying every bit of it. I wish we can have a more lengthier discussion regarding this so that we can discuss everything all out. So to wrap it up, just tell me just in a sentence, what role do you believe you must play to make the future possible for young girls?
So for me, I will start then we employ this.
Yes,
so
yes.
For me, my role, I'm already playing it. My own call is for the government, right? The major thing is infrastructure. We lack infrastructure. I have been to schools that the girls, they don't even know what computer mouse is. And still today, in 2025, a girl doesn't know what a computer mouse is. So we'll have to invest in infrastructure and second in teachers. It's very difficult to retain technical talent. If you cannot have someone that know how to do software development to teach secondary school children, that means you have to invest more in their own welfare and everything before you could be able to.
Thank you. That is more than one sentence, but let's go to Amina.
Okay, not one sentence, but 1 minute, maybe.
Okay.
So I will reiterate the point about Orang Allah. I feel like Nigeria has all the policies, we have all the expertise, we have all the resources. What we need to make it work is just that Orang Allah, whether I am a community worker or a young girl or a government worker or I'm the sitting governor, whoever it is, let's renew our intention and be very ethical in whatever we do. Just remember that you're not here to live for life because everything else is in place. It's just that Orang Allah that we need.
Thank you very much. So to you, Ramadan, if you could speak directly to a young girl in northern Nigeria, somewhere that is dreaming about learning and creating something with technology, what are you going to tell her?
I would tell her is to believe in herself and to believe she can do it and she can achieve it, and also look up to a mentor.
Of course.
She have to go through mentorship, and the other side, we should also all believe we are mentors in our own way, at our own capacity. As a parent, you are a mentor. As a teacher, you are a mentor. As a leader, you are a mentor. Someone somewhere is looking up to you. So we should be able to conduct ourselves and make sure we give the best.
Thank you very much, Ramadan. But then finally to you, Aisha, what are you going to tell a young girl somewhere in northern Nigeria that is dreaming to create something in technology that doesn't know how or where to start from?
I think I would, apart from what he just mentioned, I would just tell her to go for it because the universe is not on a budget. So she should be as ambitious as possible.
Thank you very much. Thank you, the amazing panelists that we have over here. And my major key takeaway from this wonderful panel discussion is localization actually plays a vital role. Sustainability, inclusion, just name them. Everything that a girl needs to actually feel safe and comfortable in her learning is so much welcome. And I hope that we are going to see more of this in the nearest future. And when we come back next year for a summit like this, we won't be discussing about this anymore. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please let's appreciate them. It has been a wonderful panel discussing on a very big issue and talking about technology, harnessing technology for girls. A lot of takeaways, I know, parents and the government side will be able to take that. And I think we should have to get a picture shot. The chairman, let's have Hajia Ravi. Let's have the essay to the governor, as well as essay to the governor vocational, essay to the governor education, Hajia Ravi. And the chief executive of Bridge Corner, please, for a shot. Zainab Said Idris is the moderator, and I think she deserves a very good round of applause because she's really done well to moderate this session. Thank you. What else can you tell the Gen Z when they're talking? Their mindset, you know. We're talking about the mindset of these young men, and what they want you to is just to see the mindset in the negative, not in the negative, but in the positive way, so that you can support them and make the mind to expand again. You can imagine having them around you and you are supporting their mindset. More shots for the moderator and the panelists. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, still investing in our future, discussing goals, talking issues, and getting everything solved because we have our government representative here and we have our NGOs, civil society group. And I must appreciate at this moment that our mothers are also here. Let's appreciate the presence of Hilwa, high-level women advocates. They're here. One of them is Hajia Rabi. Hajia Ladi Sanifagi is here as well. Please let's appreciate her. She's representing Hilwa. I don't know whether she's still in the hall, but then it's good that our mothers are here to listen to this kind of young minds discussing issues that really need the parents and the community and the government support. Thank you. We are going to take few of your times to conclude this event for today. Remember, tomorrow we'll be here for another session, and tomorrow's session is going to be very big. The Honorable Minister will be here. His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, he will be here. The Honorable Commissioner will be back again to discuss more issues. And tomorrow, we're going to endorse the GREB, Gender Responsive Budgeting Framework. And that is going to be the big aspect of the celebration for the summit in Girl Child. Up next on the activities is Hafsat Ismail Zubair. Is a young lady. She's coming here to talk to us on spoken words performance. Please, let's appreciate Hafsat. Is she close by? She's going to have 2 to 3 to 4 minutes. Spoken words performance. Let her, okay, are you? Great. Please, let's appreciate her. I know she's going to give us complex sentences. I learned making a paragraph in complex sentence. Somebody here wants to do a complex sentence, and Mama made it a very long one. So it's going to be a spoken word. Please, let's appreciate Hafsat, please. Thank you. She said, can I use the other mic? You know Gen Z, their mindset. Please, let's appreciate her.
July 12, 2013. 16-year-old Malala Yousafzai stood before the world and said, one child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. March 8, 2016, Michelle Obama declared the ability to read, write, and analyze, the confidence to stand up and demand justice and equality, the qualification and connection to get your foot at that door and take your seat at the table, all of that starts with education. October 11th, 2021, she reminded us again, when girls are educated, their countries become more stronger and more prosperous. And I grew up hearing that African proverb flowed like a secret between worms and walls. When you educate a man, you educate an individual, but if you educate a woman, you educate the entire nation. So isn't that enough for us to flip the page? To rise above the roasted cage? We've lived too long in borrowed shame, and now is the hour to rename the game. Imagine being raised in a place where women were not taught to measure their worth by how early they marry and how many sons they carry, where dreams do not expire the day a dowry is paid, where lessons do not pause when pockets run dry, where girls' education is invested through equitable budgeting, not through promises that ends in forgetting, where girls are not hawkers of hunger, trading laughter for sunlight, balancing basket of broken dreams on heads already heavy with denial. You see, a woman's tomorrow is not priced by the market she hawks in. Her voice doesn't vanish underneath the noise of men deciding her worth again. I wish we could all see that education is not just a letter on page. It is a power to choose, to speak without fear, to build without permission. It is a seed of dignity, watered by access, nurtured by equity, and harvested in peace. We speak of education like it's everywhere, but in truth, it is a luxury dressed as a right. A candle denied to those who lead its light. So if we can't invest in her future, if we can't make our budget gender responsive, if we can't build policies that breathe, then how do we claim to believe? If we can't make spending work for her, can't make systems serve for her, can't shape classrooms that include her name, then the void will remain the same. Because when we failed to fund her dream, we denied her the right to lead, to read, to roam, to write, denied the right to say no, to say yes, and to fight. Let's sink this in. A woman's dream can birth revolution. A woman who speaks is a world in motion. A woman who stands in her truth is the first of future being awoken. A woman, she is the arithmetic of survival, adding values where system divide. She is the unapproved budget of brilliance, demanding vision in a nation of blind decision. She is the change, not the charity, the pity, not the breath of dignity in the dust of poverty, and the spark of audacity defying conformity. So when we say investing in her future, we're not talking about numbers on page. We are talking about justice with a face, talking about freedom with a face, talking about Kano's daughters writing their destinies in ink that will never fade, because advancing girls' education through equitable budgeting is not just the theme of this summit. It is the anthem of our generation. It is how we rise this nation, how we dream and survive,
how the world learn to strive. And today, 17th of October 2025, I say, one girl, one classroom, and one tomorrow can change the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Please let's appreciate Hafsat Ismail Zubair. She's a poet, and poetry is one thing that many of us adore. And many of us want to see themselves as a poet. But poetry is one area now that people are making a lot of money. More especially the area she is taking now. Spoken words, using poetry. It reminds me of Anhal Islam, that young lady who is now the UN ambassador for peace. And probably you can remember her of being someone that speaks just like the way Hafsat is speaking. And it's one thing for you to know how to speak, and it's another way for you to master the art of speaking. Rest in peace, literature. I don't know whether it is back in school now. Are we doing literature again? We have to bring literature back so that we can see young girls making money through the art of speaking. Thank you very much, Hafsat, once again. Please let's appreciate her one more time. And on that note, I would like to invite for another session of 3 minutes before we are going out for our breakout session. Equity demo and lunch. Mubarak Daha, CEO Outside Innovation Lab. These Gen Zs, please let's appreciate Mubarak. He's coming out with another innovation. I don't know about this, but then I will have to wait and see it now. Thank you.
For context, I'm not Gen Z. Yes. Can you please put on the presentation? Assalamu alaikum once again. As I mentioned during our panel, at Outside Innovation Lab, we have also rethinking how to use technology and innovation to also improve quality education. So our internal research have shown that if you could be able to scale down or to be able to filter down all the challenges preventing girls' access to education, one thing that will stand out is infrastructure. We all believe there is challenges in school, there is challenges in the environment that is hinder girls and almost every child access to education. And today we are presenting something model, a result of consistent collaboration, a work of Bridge Connect Africa Initiative and Outside Innovation Lab, to see how we can be able to, beyond it, what we are advocating for is equitable access to education. And we want every citizen to own the change by, to make public school better with data and accountability. So, like all solutions started with a specific problem. What is a problem? According to the Nigerian Education Management Information System, NAMIS 2024, we currently have 174,401 schools, that's basic and secondary school nationwide, out of which 1,760 are public schools, 92,641 are private schools. Of this, 129,614 are primary school, and 38,217 are junior secondary school. Yet, infrastructural deficits remain staggering. Broken roofs, unsafe classroom, lack of toilet, proper sanitation. And I think in the presentation of the lead presenter, we have seen most of the visualized issue on this. Despite large government budget, community community reality show many schools are unsafe, are under-resourced. The gap exists because budgets are allocated, but time release, real-time school-level data is missing, leading to misallocation. So what is the result to this? Millions of Nigerian children in public schools study under hazardous conditions while accountability gap persists. So what is our solution? Our solution is Equity, a digital accountability platform where citizens document state of schools and government access to real-time geotag data. So how it works is that we have a web-based platform where people, any community member or any interested advocate or any person can see an issue, and maybe a core member serving in one particular school, and there is a specific issue, and I want to report it to the government, but I don't have the platform. I may post it on a social media, but it will take time to reach the right people. But our platform is collaborating with the government so that they could receive real-time information. This is just to help government keep being accountable. So after citizens report the information or the issue, the data is being aggregated. We know we are in a political era. Someone may decide to carry one school that is dilapidated in Gashua and say it's a one school in Karai, which was wrong. So we try to find, as we are mentioning, using AI to aggregate and ensure that that data is accurate, and it's also geotag data, ensuring that that in particular information is from that school that is being tagged to. That is the data aggregation. We then verify. Probably someone may be visiting that school in 2024, but the school have been fixed in 2025. So that's where verification comes in. We verify, then we now say, okay, this is a real issue because the school have not been fixed. Then we display it on a dashboard. Now we aggregate, verify, and display it on a dashboard. And what next is this aggregated data is now being transferred to the government. So while you are budgeting, we say, okay, so prioritize this school based on the public report. This is the people that they report that this as a school with a top issue. We know government cannot just wake up one day and solve all the problems. We are helping them to prioritize. So what is our value proposition? So for citizens, we give you a voice to be able to contribute to development of these schools and transparency. You could be able to ensure that, okay, I am the one that even report that school have issue and it's now been fixed by the government. And ownership, feeling that I am also a contributing factor in the development of my community. For government, we give them access to real-time data, community-driven insights for better budget allocation. And for NGO and media, we give you data for advocacy and accountability. So how the platform look like? So this is the model homepage we developed, which the version 2 is currently under development, where we give, if you can see from this presentation, you saw an issue, you report it, and it got fixed by the government. So these are the model state on the app. Everyone can now visit the platform, which is live at equity.ng. So last is you can see some of the champions that have already reported. You can see Open Matter Jose Pajamil. I think the person that reported this school is already here. Is this very, very new? So these are the boys we want to give young change makers to be able to contribute. And you can see Hafsa Bello. She's here also with us. This is one school she reported that doesn't have sitting infrastructure. So the model team or the new team we built on this platform is this particular last slide, please. So as a citizen, you could be able to see the report that others have made, your own report. You could be able to comment. If this thing is being fixed, and you are very sure that it's been fixed, I commented that this challenge has been fixed. That's all. And people will now be kept informed and accountable. So this is Equity for all of you. And it's live at equity.ng. You can visit it and give us feedback, and we could be able to build more better and more inclusive version. And we are also open for partnership. If you have an idea on how to make this team better, or how to improve this platform, or how to make education access better, we are open to partner with you. Thank you.
Mubarak had to issue that disclaimer that he is not Gen Z. We can call him Matashin Datiju. Yeah. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us, and for our speakers and panelists also for being patient with us, and especially and particularly the girls. Please, a round of applause for our girls that are here. You see, all of us here, gabaɗayan mu nan mun zo ne saboda ku. Panel ɗin da ta gabata ɗazu mata uku ne akan panel ɗin, mace moderator da sauran panelists guda biyu. Dukkaninsu da kuke gani za ku iya zama kamar su, kuma kan ku ce na yaudare ku dai, amma babu wahala zama kamar su. Kawai effort za ku yi putin, kuma wannan event ɗin ana yin shi ne saboda ku, saboda ku samu better life, a chance at better life. So everybody, the Honorable Commissioner da ya zo, da shi Malam Haladu TA da ya zo, da Sani, da duk sauran speakers waɗanda suka yi magana a nan sun zo ne saboda ku, saboda ci gabanku, saboda iliminku da sauran abubuwa da suke da alaƙa da wannan. Saboda haka ku yi amfani da wannan dama, ba ƙaramin dama ba ce ba, ku yi amfani da ita. Ba na jin lokacin da muna yara mun samu irin waɗannan damammaki, so ba ƙaramar dama ku samu ba. Kuma yanzu session ɗin da za mu shiga na gaba da za mu shiga ta gaba shine breakout session inda za a yi mentorship a nan. So ku students gaba ɗaya, all the girls, za ku tsaya a cikin wannan hall ɗin. Akwai mentors da za su zo, za su yi muku magana akan abubuwa na rayuwa, yadda za ku cimma burukanku na rayuwa, abubuwa da suke da alaƙa da manufa, purpose kenan, manufa a rayuwa, da kuma objectives na rayuwa, da kuma yadda za ku kasance mutane masu alfanu ga iyayenku da kankin kanku ma, da iyayenku da kuma malamanku da communities inda kuka zo da sauran al'umma ma. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we now move straight to the next item, which is the breakout session. By the grace of God, the breakout session is going to it's going to take place for about 30 minutes also. So we're going to break out. The reason why we are breaking out is because we have different groups. You can call them syndicate groups, but they are groups where we're going to discuss about different things. So we're going to break out into 4 groups. 4 groups. Please, this is important. If you could just listen. We're going to break out into 4 groups. The students are going to remain in this room. All of you are going to remain here in this room for mentorship session. And then outside this room, we have 3 different rooms. We have room 1, room 2, room 3. As we go out, we have ushers and volunteers that would guide us to our respective rooms. The first room is going to discuss collective responsibility for girls' safety. Room 1, collective responsibility for girls' safety. And that discussion is going to be led by Hajara Mecho. Room 1, so there's lecture hall 1. It's going to be for collective responsibility for girls' safety. So if we are interested, anybody here, any stakeholder here interested in this conversation can go to room 1. And then room 2 is going to discuss empowering girls through digital literacy and safety and continuity. Empowering girls through digital literacy, safety and continuity. And Salim Wada Usman is going to lead that conversation. And that is going to happen in Lecture Theater B. So for the first breakout, collective responsibility for girls' safety, it's going to take place in Lecture Room A. The second breakout session, empowering girls through digital literacy, safety and continuity, is going to happen in Lecture Theater B, to be led by Salim Wada Usman. And then finally, the third breakout session is going to take place in Lecture Hall 2. Lecture Hall 2. And it's going to discuss enhancing community participation in girls' education and service delivery. Enhancing community participation in girls' education and service delivery. And that is going to be led by Abdurrahman Abdu, and that is going to take place in Lecture Hall 2. So we can now break out. All the breakout sessions are going to happen concurrently. So we want only the girls are to remain here. Only the girls. So everybody is going to excuse us for our VIPs, and then we break out to our respective rooms. Okay, room 3 is enhancing community participation. Enhancing community participation in girls' education service delivery. And it's going to take place in Lecture Hall 2. So there's Theater A, Theater B, and Lecture Hall 2. Please, we're expected to come back in 40 minutes by the grace of God. We're going to come back. There's going to be a plenary where we'll report the happenings in various breakout sessions. Thank you very much.